Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 112 of Bloody Thumbs Podcast. As always, I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Brothers in Arms, the Gorog, as he was known in the Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, CH.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How are you, CH?
I'm doing slamtacular. That's how I'm doing. And I'm just ready to jump into the fray. I've got a lot of, unlike the other past weeks where we kind of had kind of a dry news cycle. This is actually pretty interesting because some new news stories have come up. There's been some surprising developments, and most importantly, I've finally downloaded Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
Holy crap!
Yeah, and I played it, and it is pretty damn awesome.
This is big news.
This is huge. I mean, this is like E3, the Game Developer Conference, and Valve releasing Half-Life 3 all in one package.
Yeah.
That's how exciting it is.
Well, before we get started with our regularly scheduled programming, I'd like to take this time for a moment of silence here. I know what's today? We're on the 15th of September, but yesterday was a monumental anniversary edition yesterday. And I will say it right after this moment of silence.
All right. Bow our heads. There we go. All right.
I was going... No, I was going to say... I wanted to go longer there, but yeah, that's fine.
No, we can go for a little bit longer.
Ah, yes.
Okay, good.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Yesterday, 9/14/2011. What happened on 9/14/2011, CH? Do you know? And you should know. This is a big thing.
That was when Ken Levine promised us BioShock Infinite last year?
Maybe, but I don't know if that's the case, but that's not it.
Tommy Tallarico broke off from Victor Lucas and formed his own band?
Where are you getting this information?
I don't know. I'm stabbing at the dark here. I'm just a blind man walking down an alley. I'm praying. I hope I don't run into anything bad. So, inform me. Like, sit down, tell your ditty, and just inform me on what the 411 is, bro.
I'll tell you. 9/14/2011 is the day everyone, every single one, man, female, children, grandchildren, got to see the nude pics of Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my God! How could I forgotten this? This is. Oh, now I know why. I now know why. I didn't remember.
Where were you on 9/14, CH?
I'm sorry?
Where were you on 9/14?
I was fortunately at home, alone, online, just surfing around like Tumblr or Facebook or whatever it was at the time, or Spill.com, and just it's like Scarlett Johansson has leaked pics. Like, probably just her vacation videos of like her in a bikini, and she's a fine looking woman, but if it's just like a bikini, then it's like, please, I've got more important things to tend to. You go be sexy somewhere else. But it's like, nope, it's the nudie pics. Okay, well then you have my attention, and then I think I know now. I know why I didn't realize that yesterday was the anniversary. Is because 9/14/11. Well, 9/14 has now become a national holiday in America. For those of you who don't know, banks closed down. Schools are shut down.
Post office,
hospitals, delicatessens,
McDonald's.
Yeah, it's like it has the inverse thing workings on everybody. Like, everybody shuts down, and then if it's on a Sunday, Chick-fil-A is actually open. And then it's just one of those days where it's like, we just need to sit down and celebrate the fact that a celebrity was just stupid enough to be that ridiculously gorgeous and take nude pictures of herself. And so I just Thank you, Scarlett Johansson. You have made a lot of dreams of mine possible just because of the fact that you chose to capture yourself with a cell phone and then didn't think anybody would find a way to do that, even though you are a huge celebrity. People are trying to get into your private life every single moment. And just generally nude pics. Yeah. Tasteful nudes, though. Mm-hmm. Tasteful.
They were very, very tasteful. Mm-hmm. I think it's time to make some shirts.
That Selena Gomez garbage.
Some shirts.
She's like, hey, I'm naked. Like, hey, put that away. No one wants to see that.
That's right.
We want tasteful nudes. We want one like, I don't know, a Calvin Klein shooting your home video nudes. That's what we want.
We want pics where they took the time to actually get the lighting right. Get the camera position right. Not just the quick whip out your phone and hit the take the picture button.
Exactly. 100%. Because in the Scarlett Johansson picture, there's like an interesting shot as well. It's like breathtaking cinematography where she has the photo of herself to the left, and then in the background there's a mirror showing her behind, and that's perfectly choreographed. That takes time. That shit takes effort.
That picture itself. Yeah. That picture itself deserves to be hanged on a wall in the bathroom.
It's postmodern art. It really is. I mean, it's shit. If Andy Warhol's crap can be hung with the most delicate care and just thought of as a piece of art worth keeping for generations to come, then this should definitely be hanging up in the Smithsonian or the Air and Space Museum.
Oh yeah. So I just wanted to give a honorable mention there. I know we didn't. This is the 15th, so we didn't record on that day because like you said, everyone's off, everyone's shut down, everyone's reminiscing, thinking about the days they were there, recounting, telling stories from their grandchildren and future grandchildren, and generations and generations. So it's going to be something we will never forget.
It's something that really, really just takes my breath away and then instills it with breath that says, holy crap, she's naked. So yeah, it's something that you should all go check out and look at, and also for future celebrities to look at, say, okay, this is how nude pics are done. Very tasteful.
Hells yeah. So yes, you mentioned, where do we start? You mentioned some newer news topics in the works. Would you like to bring one up that stood out to you this week?
There's actually several that I'd like to talk about, but first off, there's the really sad news. Like, have you heard? Are you crying right now?
I have been, yes. If it not from thinking about ScarJo, no, not that.
ScarJo, no. That would actually be that sounds like a really cool name for like a mythological creature in the forest, the ScarJo.
Replace that painting at the museum that Ferris Bueller was looking at in Ferris Bueller's Day Off with the ScarJo pics, and that scene will add definitely more. We'll add more to that scene.
Oh yeah, cutting back and forth between just that, like the eyes, the butt, the eyes. That would be good, but no. Well, it's a little sad story that Will Arnett and Amy Poehler split. Just that, I thought they would make it, just because like they seem to be like the ones who are going the distance in terms of celebrities getting married and staying married. Just because they're comedians, they don't take life extremely serious. Both of them seem to have pretty good jobs. They get pretty steady work. They're both relatively liked. They haven't really have a lot of domestic issues just like put out into the public sphere like Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt stuff. And I just love the fact that people still bring up Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, and like the gossip magazines like, oh, Jen wants her man back. It's like, it's been more than 10 years. I'm pretty sure she's moved on. I'm pretty sure emotionally she's not exactly still attached to Brad that way. But anyway, so that's sad.
So that was the sad news. I was thinking of something else.
Well, it's also pretty. I just also want to say it pretty much makes the whole Blades of Glory movie qualified in terms of its effects, because like they play Amy Poehler and Will Arnett play like a rival skating siblings to Will Ferrell and the guy who played Napoleon Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like their whole romantic-esque, incestuous flirtation is actually now nullified just because they aren't together anymore. That's sad. So,
Very.
I just wanted to say Will Arnett just because, Lego Batman in the video game Lego Batman, who's voiced by Will Arnett, is getting his own Lego movie, and he's going to be playing Batman. But he's not going to be the only Batman apparently coming up in future movies because they're, Warner Brothers is working on a Justice League of America, and there's a rumor going around that there might be multiple actors Batman, where it's they're going to have a Justice League movie and then one for the reboot. And this is getting goddamn ridiculous. Warner Brothers, what are you doing? This is like the anti Marvel film. It's like, what can we possibly do to screw up, have a team up movie together? Where it's, like the Nolan Batman movies were pretty good. I third one, but the first two were fantastic. Love those. And then then it's just like, okay, now you have the Man of Steel coming out. You're working on a Justice League movie, but you don't really want to build up to it. They just want to kind of throw it out. And it seems like a really, really bad because they just don't seem to have a plan for any of this. And like Marvel's moving into their next stage of filming and stuff like that. And I know this is not exactly video game related, but I saw Lego Batman, Will Arnett. That made me think about about yada yada yada. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
That's just kind of a bad sign that they don't really have I mean, they're considering the possibility of multiple Batman, and that's kind of you don't want to have like Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man in the Iron Man series, then Freddie Prinze Jr. in the event. I know they're saying they both got Junior in them, so they have to at least. But yeah, so that is going on, and they also say the same on from a source that also might be Superman and Wonder Woman having several interpretations as well.
Well, they say all these things. You just have to wait until it actually happens because sometimes things go into the back burner because one thing didn't go well. So right now, for a while, Warner Bros. Hasn't had anything as big as Batman since like the last couple Matrix movies. So they're trying different things to see what sticks, and Batman's the only one that's been the most successful out of the comic book movies there. Who knows? We'll have to see until Man of Steel comes out. For right now, all we know is about it from those preview stuff. That's Deadliest Catch with Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. But yeah, they have to figure out something that will stick. Is Dredd attached to Warner Brothers? Or am I thinking of something else?
I thought Dredd was actually a part of another deal, but I think that's through Universal. I might be wrong, but
anyway, yeah, I've seen some pretty positive reviews on it. I was kind of surprised actually.
Yeah, I mean it's
like 91% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah, it's better reviewed than I think than Dark Knight Rises and the Avengers. It's like, wow, this is like apparently this is the Citizen Kane of our age. It's like how awesome is that?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be maybe it might be a little early. It doesn't come out till next Friday, so the score might go down a bit when it comes out. But there's already a lot of reviews for it. It's like 43 positive and like 5 negative from the last I saw.
And
which is good. I mean, I'm not I don't know anything about Judge Dredd in the comics. I only know of it during that Sylvester Stallone movie, which is all sorts of fantastic.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah, but the new one, the trailer that I saw, I thought was pretty good.
The I mean, the movie, the trailer that I saw was a while back ago. Apparently, came out on September 7th in the United Kingdom, and it's coming out the 21st for everywhere else. And frankly, this looks really interesting because it looks kind of like a version of the Raid. If like you've seen a couple of clips of that, and there was the there's a new like in this movie. I don't know a lot about the backstory. I kind of remember seeing Dredd, but then I also weave in and out of the other Sylvester Stallone movie, Demolition Man, where he's going, "What are the seashells for?"
That one's a classic.
Oh yeah, you can't get any better than Wesley Snipes being, the Black Batman, the Black Joker in that movie, where he's like going around like, "Aha, I'm gonna blow us up," and then he does blow it up.
And both those movies, Demolition Man and Judge Dredd, with Sylvester Stallone, had Rob Schneider in them.
I did either knew that and then suppressed that memory, or just did not know that. That is interesting. I will have to look at that just because.
Yeah. Gotta have a retrospective the week before it comes out. Check out Judge Dredd before the newer one comes out.
You know what they should do? They should just do last-minute replacements. It's like digitally insert Rob Schneider into every place that Carl Urban is supposed to be Dredd. It's like put Rob Schneider underneath the helmet and just like have him do his voice like, "Oh boy, let's have some fun today," or whatever Rob Schneider sounds like. I don't know. Rob Schneider just really pisses me off.
Give him a little cameo there.
Or something like that. I think it's shot in the forehead.
To be honest, I saw a movie with him recently, a while back, that came out where he, I think it's called The Big Stand, is where he goes to prison, and then before he goes to prison, he has to know how to like fight and defend himself before he goes in there because he's afraid to get his ass kicked. So he gets mentored by David Carradine from Kill Bill fame, and it teaches him like kung fu. And then when he goes to prison, he's like the badass of the prison.
That would be even better if it was like David Carradine. He was like telling us, like, I don't want to get killed in prison. It's like, well, have you ever considered selling your ass on the street? Here, I have some leftover drag you can wear, and then you can just sell yourself for a pack of cigarettes or whatever.
I thought that movie was pretty good. I gotta admit it, but
I mean, but he's like, he was in Deuce Bigalow, the Animal, the Hot Chick, Bench Warmers, Grown Ups. I mean, this guy is not exactly hitting 10 for 10.
Oh no, but I'll give him credit. The first Deuce Bigalow was pretty decent.
I will have to disagree with you on that one, just because I can't stand
what.
Okay, it was '99. We had much better films coming out then. We had, that was the era of Dumb and Dumber. That was the era of realizing that comedy can be more than just comedy. It can be satire. It can be deconstruction. It can be everything else that Dumb and Dumber is. I'm sorry.
Or it can be Rob Schneider being a gigolo. That's comedy in itself.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just have to agree to disagree.
You know, like that scene where he's working out in the house and then just ends up turning over that huge fish tank. Or when he first, I think one of the first jobs you get is to bang that big fat chick. Like, I think it's been a mistake. Did you say steak?
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe I need to see that again. Maybe the nostalgia is hindered by my conscience.
It
had his moments. That's all I'll say.
I'm not a fan, just because he probably. Well, anyway.
I hear you. I hear you.
Just because like maybe the movie was good, but just like I can't really see it just because.
Well, I'm not saying it's a good movie, but I'm saying it had its moments.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Have you ever? It's like,
I mean, it's definitely better than Grown Ups, at least.
Okay, that is not saying too much, because it's like saying You know, like, oh, you know what? This giant metal spike in my foot doesn't feel as bad as the fact that you're sawing off my arm. You know, it's like at least part of you is still whole when you watch, one movie compared to the other one, or at least when you realize that, like, at least Deuce Bigelow was trying to be a comedy and not just like, oh, look, it's Adam Sandler and his drinking buddies, like, just sitting back and smoking dope and talking to each other about their careers. It's like, hey, Kevin James, you kind of look like Chris Farley. Get over here. Let's pretend that you're still part of this group. And then it's just, I don't know. It's like, but like, Rob Schneider is that element where it's like, it doesn't matter how good it is. It's still something obtrusive. Like, say, if you were looking at a beautiful sunset and someone threw cinnamon in your eye. And then it's like, you could probably still see the sunset. It'd be very, very beautiful, but the cinnamon is still there, stinging your eyes to no end.
Somebody's got to back me up. Leave a comment. At least Deuce Bigelow is decent. Not the best comedy ever. I'm not going that far, but it had its moments. We'll agree to disagree, CH. That's how it's going to be. But moving on from that, the sad news I thought you were going to mention was, well, first off, the good news. Bayonetta 2 is happening. Sad news is it's a Wii U exclusive. Well, in some, cause some sad news because I want to play it, but it's good for Nintendo. They got something going on. At least they're trying to get some games that is not too, casual.
But this is fantastic news. I mean, this is also something that came out of left field just for a number of reasons. I mean, this is Nintendo. They don't really. I mean, this is a third-party product that they're personally financing for exclusivity that was once a multi-console game, and it just kind of boggles my mind. I know they kind of they're doing the multi-console thing, and they're upping their own game right now in terms of presentation and games that they're trying to lock down. But I wouldn't have expected Bayonetta 2 just because it's the game didn't sell like hotcakes. I think it did relatively okay, but it didn't really wow the sales like Platinum Games wanted them to. And this is just strange, just because it's and also for the trailer that everyone would want to see, it's just like gunplay and there's like a hint of maybe another element in there of an antagonist, but yeah, it's just Bayonetta 2, and that surprised me.
You get what you get with a teaser trailer, not much, but it is what it is. It's Bayonetta 2 is happening.
It's frankly just awe-inspiring, really, just because...
As it should be. The first one was fantastic. Fantastically inane and ridiculous and just awesome.
The ending of the game is where you drive outside of the universe and kill God. I mean, if you are not interested in that, then I don't want to know you. I really just want you to be out of my life and not hit by, not badly, but just like enough to say, like, to shake you out of your apathy towards punching God in the face, and it's like, not that.
I just can't wait for the soundtrack.
Absolutely. Yeah, I liked it. The Joe Pesci clone comes back just because I really missed him. I was like, I really didn't get my saying fuck every other scene. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I just loved how ridiculous it was. I enjoyed some aspects of the story. I thought the gameplay was incredible. I thought it was an excellent blend between figuring out how all of your it's easy enough for anyone who's new to the beat 'em up franchise to get in very easily and enjoy it, but there's also a system in place for people who want to match the little intricacies of everything, and so that was just really cool.
Oh yeah. So there it is. Bayonetta 2 is happening, and what else did you want to bring up?
Um,
I seem to put you on the spot there, but while you look for that, Insomniac Games. How do you like Insomniac this year?
but they're good. They're good. I like them.
Uh, I played a couple of the games. I mean, they made the first Spyro, right? Back in PlayStation 1 days. I do like that one. Am I
Crash.
thinking Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it was I think they did believe that they did a Brad
Regardless,
Crash. That's the one. Yep.
yes.
They created Spyro the Dragon and the Ratchet and Clank franchise.
Hell yeah, that's right. 1 point for me.
Damn straight.
But they mentioned Ted Price saying that they can't imagine that the studio is going to be doing any more single player games. They're going to kind of be focusing on some co-op games from then on now, and the newly the new one that they're working on was it Overstrike that got changed from that to Fuse, I believe.
It's I don't know. I'm really starting to get worried that Insomniac and a lot of these developers are using the shield of saying, oh, we're making it a social experience to just add play or just not have a single player game anymore. But I don't really buy it. I feel like they're trying to pitch now. This is not official or announced or from a source, but I feel like maybe the games they want to make are being impeded by publishers like Sony or whoever they're trying to get funding from, and they're probably saying like, oh, we want to make this game. Okay, it needs to have multiplayer aspect in it. So, I mean, it's real. I mean, have you seen their new the game that they're working on at this point in time?
Online pass. Yeah, it's the game that we did see a trailer for E3. I believe it was this year or the year before. That was kind of, it looked like it was going to be some type of like kind of spy game, but then they ended up changing the name completely and a little bit of the tone from what we last saw previously.
Yeah. It was originally called Overstrike, and now it's called Fuse.
Yeah.
Where and it's kind of like a Borderlands-esque type of endeavor, where it's like you have 4 different classes of characters, and you can switch back and forth between them. And it looks okay, but I'm not entirely. I'm not floored by it. I'm not salivating at it. But just like the games, like I don't know if back to the single player discussion. Like the single player games are still getting incredibly good developers just to working on just single player experiences, like Bioshock Infinite. I'll go back to that one. Just like that's one that that a lot of people are looking forward to, and it's gotten rave reviews and awards just for that, just for what's been presented. And I don't think like a multiplayer aspect would add anything to the game of what Ken Levine and his team are working on. And I think this is getting a little bit worrisome for me, just because it's like, it's another game. Let's slap together some co-op or multiplayer that we could have used all those resources for to make a better single-player experience.
Right. I'll read you the rest of what Ted Price said to GameSpot. Damn it! I almost said GameStop. The game world has changed. As gamers, we've always been social, but thanks to the way technology has evolved, it's much easier to us to play together. It's much easier for developers to create experiences where you can play together, so we want to encourage that with all our games. Ultimately, in my opinion, it's often been more fun to play with a friend. In some cases, I agree there, CH. But as him saying that we kind of gamers are a little bit social, I think that's a little far-fetched there. I mean,
yeah,
like you said, I mean, there is definitely a market for co-op games. Don't get me wrong. And And when it comes to this type of game, it seems like it'll be mainly co-op. It's not. I don't think there's a single player option to that. I think you have to play with somebody at least. And yeah, like I said, there's definitely a market for it, but I don't think that it's ultimately it's their decision how they're going to be doing their games from now on. Which you gotta respect in some way, but uh, I'm not completely you know into the co-op games. Some for some games it works. Others it doesn't. It just feels too forced or rushed just to get something more out of it, and you end up losing a little bit of what could have been resources used for the single player, and just that taken to the co-op for some games.
Yeah. It, I mean, it just does not seem as I don't know, necessary as some single player elements. Like I don't think like having an element of co-op in Skyrim would have made it any better than the other game that it already was. And,
No, I don't think it is. That game is a pretty big, a big game it's more fun to experience it by yourself than with other people there. It's just that's what it's made for, actually, single player experience. So
hmm
there's no need to really add the shoehorn in the co-op aspect to it. It would be kind of interesting to see how that would work, but just knowing Bethesda, I don't think it's something that they're going to do, because it's just create more variables with already the bugs and things they got to deal with already when they're making it. And plus, when you play it and buy it the first week, it's not going to be the completely polished. I mean, which no game really is, but it's but Bethesda has pretty good reputation of having a lot of issues and bugs in their games, like the first week of release, and it's spanning on from a couple for months trying to patch the thing up, and at least trying to make it less of a pain for those who play it.
Yeah, but it just kind of disappoints me that people are still doing this. Like the whole song and dance of multiplayer has been going back since the '90s. I mean, if we take a look back at all the early first-person shooters on consoles that have been trying to include multiplayer when there wasn't any need for that to be there. Like I there was I don't know, Pariah, I think was a first-person shooter that tried to incorporate multiplayer when there wasn't really a market for it. Like, and when you oversaturate the market with like this is the same thing with MMOs. When you have multiplayer games where the majority of people are gravitating towards like 4 or 5 games for their multiplayer experience, I mean, you better be offering something really, really good to stand in competition of that, or else people are just not going to take notice. That's why I feel like Brink didn't do incredibly, just because it had new ideas or like new combination of ideas that wasn't at the time, but it just wasn't polished enough for people to really love and take notice to.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's games like that don't have good enough multiplayer to stand on its own is when you need to be worried about not oversaturating certain areas of the game industry.
hmm
That's the thing. I mean, like I said, co-op works for some games. I mentioned it before. Dead Island. I think the game would not be as enjoyable as it is if you're playing by yourself. I think it's a lot better playing with someone that you know, and it makes it uh, a bit more enjoyable. But although I have been playing it alone for a couple of days, and it is pretty intense because you could easily just run into a lot of zombies, and it just feels intense. I mean, you kind of hold your own against a couple of them, but you kind of get that adrenaline rush going. It's like, oh shit, there's a lot of zombies here. I gotta get out of here. It has a lot of those intense moments in there. So it's for that aspect, they did a good job on that. So
Yeah, I mean, Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, the Left 4 Dead series,
no, those yeah,
Borderlands,
Borderlands, those are good.
those are the ones that are designed from the get go to be to be multiplayer or co-op games, and those I feel like those really work when they like are paying it when they've really paid attention to the kind of ebb and flow of gameplay that they have, trying to make sure that their that their presentation matches up with the gameplay that they're trying to convey, and that really works well with Left 4 Dead, the Left 4 Dead series, or the Borderlands series, where there's a keen focused on making sure that the co-op experience is really, really fruitful, and that it actually makes sense in terms of including it. Like like some of the stuff that they try to include, like Dead Rising 2's multiplayer, where it's kind of like, oh, it's a part of the universe that kind of worked, but they didn't flesh it out with enough ideas because most of their resources went into the single player stuff, and it just kind of seems like if you want to have a co-op or multiplayer experience, you kind of gotta have to prepare at the very start for it.
You gotta go all the way with it. You can't half-ass it. So that's pretty much. So you got. Well, that's pretty much what you and I are going at here. I mean, I think we're down for some co-op games if they work, or if we're in the mood for some. But just if they're there, just to not be used to its full potential, or trying to get more money out of it because of the online passes, and trying to do that, against the used games market. And I'm not down. I'm not really down for that. Really, it's not a good not a good way to go about it.
No. And I guess stuff like some of the
I think
multiplayer that obviously wasn't up to snuff, or wasn't really thought out, or
like Dead Space 2. Then that's a pretty good example of them forcing co-op in there. Not forcing, but they shoehorned it in.
For Dead Space 3?
Dead Space 2.
Oh, you're talking for the multiplayer stuff? Yeah.
Co-op stuff. I mean, the single player and the co-op were there, and co-op wasn't, as good as the single player. Things like that. I mean, the only game I could think of that it worked was like Splinter Cell Conviction. It had a good single player and a good co-op.
Yeah, well, it's also like you needed your partner to help perform actions, and also you also relied on your partner for certain things. It's not just like, okay, we're going to put two Sam Fishers, just go crazy. Like, you have the same skill sets, but you also have a few activities that you need a partner for. Like
that's the key, CH. Hence the co-op.
Yes.
We solved it.
I'm sorry?
We've solved it. We got the last piece in the puzzle. That's how a co-op game should work.
Damn. Right. I don't know why we're not getting paid for our ideas, just because it is basically just gold right there that they can take and just enjoy.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, do you have any other things that you want to bring up in news before we get into your impressions on Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden?
That I am joyfully happy to get into that, but I just want to talk about EA's pretty controversial move for Medal of Honor Warfighter for DLC. EA is basing a downloadable map pack for Warfighter based on the upcoming film Zero Dark 30, which is a movie based on the years-long manhunt for Bin Laden, and it's going to contain two locations in Pakistan for the DLC pack, and it's going to be the Dara gun market and the northern Chitral region where Bin Laden was hid out for an extended period. So they're not exactly like allowing you to kill Bin Laden, but it's like, oh, it's the same area. Wink, wink. This he could be around. Oh, what's that? Is that Sasquatch? Bin Laden? Who knows? It's like it's. They said EA will be donating $1 from each map pack download to the Project Honor campaign. It's for military charities, and $1 million will be donated at the very minimum out of profits, the profits from the math pack, and so yeah, it seems like kind of a very cheap publicity grab just for the fact of I'm sorry, I sound like Porky Pig right now. Of just uh, get, of cashing in on a very important event in our modern history, where yeah, I mean, I will be the last person to defend Bin Laden because let's face it, the man was a fucking jackass, and he's a murderer. He, I'm gonna call him a rapist and a pedophile just because he seemed to have fit the archetype. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Sure, sure.
I mean, I would say he's our Hitler, where there's no one who can really vote for who can really support him, and just be thought of as logically sane. Where he was a murderer, he killed innocent people. That being said, I don't think that this is the most respectful way. But then again, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we need to have some levity in terms of how cartoonishly we characterize our enemies in the world. Just because, like, we had Disney cartoons depicting the Third Reich and Nazism being hugely idiotic people, or the Marx Brothers.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not like, regardless of if we do or don't, they're still gonna hate us.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, if we can't take something, if we can't make fun of something in our culture, and it's like, oh no, this is like, and like, not everything is going to be hilarious, but if like this is a big part of our modern culture, and we can't make it or joke about it at some points, then I have no problem. Just because like if we just can't like go and then it's just like, no, this is way too serious, then yeah, then something is a little bit amiss, and I feel like there's just something wrong when we can't laugh at something that's really big in our culture. And maybe we can have maybe we can make fun of Bin Laden and dance on his grave as much as possible by including him in a game. But then again, there's another part of me telling, like, okay, this is that. Then again, I like childish things sometimes, and this is kind of weird because, like, if they could, I would just like to have. Once again, I'm split. Like, there's a part of me that doesn't want anything Bin Laden related at all in Warfighter, but then there's another part of me that wants to see his corpse kind of dangling in the multiplayer map, and then everybody can just shoot it, like when the map, like, oh, yeah, shoot Bin Laden in the stomach, and then they go over and then just shoot. You know?
I hear you. I'm the same too, but they did it on South Park, so why not?
Yeah, they did, and frankly, I think I mean, the minority that are a very vocal and violent minority who threaten to kill people over how you talk about the Quran in this way. How dare you depict Muhammad? For that you will die. And
ironic how they say that they're peaceful people, huh?
Well, that's always the case. Like, for not for religious institutions, but for extremists who say, like, oh, we're just good people preach the word of, or the word, or this belief that we have, but are very incredibly violent our responses, and not religions. Atheists have had some sort of problems as well. I mean, Christians, we've had for the history that I was growing up with, we had the Crusades, and then we didn't talk about it. It was kind of hypocritical. But for atheists, you have the gulags and Stalin, declaring religion to be kind of an institution, an organization that wasn't that was detrimental to the country, and the crusade against it. But anyway, this isn't here or there. It's a very touchy subject, and I feel like we're more scared to do it out of fear in terms of depicting maybe Osama bin Laden. And once again, I'm of a 5 lines right now, but I think maybe and one of me is saying that maybe we don't want to depict Osama bin Laden or have of the Middle Eastern culture just because of the fact that we were all terrified of maybe retaliate.
Right. At least they got
So,
donations.
yep. But I will tell you the greatest video game ever, just because of the fact that I was looking it up, was Osama bin Laden in Fugitive Hunter: War on Terror, where it's a first-person shooter, but you also get a fist fight with him, and then and like when you win, you get to put him in handcuffs and take him to like a helicopter that's coming down. Like what you do is like you kick him so hard in the jaw, he does like a back into the helicopter. And that is just, and I will make sure that I post this up just because this is one of the greatest just scenes of political satire I could possibly think of.
Free to play. Free to play.
Free to play. Well, also free to enjoy the smackdown that was so rightfully necessary.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, political stuff.
I'm thinking.
But
Right.
yeah.
Well, before we get to the great discussion of Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam, I will say that the Wii U has a date and price there, CH.
Yeah.
November 18th, right there. That's right.
There's the first one is the 8 gigabyte console with the gamepad, AC adapter, HDMI. It's actually pretty interesting because the only one that ever had an the only console that had an HDMI cable included already with it was the Elite Edition. The sensor bar, and I don't think it comes with any games, and that's $200, $250.
$299 for the basic white 8 gigabyte Wii U. And the deluxe set, which I'm looking up on Destructor, it has the Jonathan Holmes version.
Yeah, awesome.
It has 32 gigs and stands for your system and controller. It has a copy of Nintendo Land. That's gonna run you up for $349.99. Yeah, as you said before, both sets include the Wii U console gamepad, AC adapter, and Wii U sensor bar, and the high-speed HDMI cable. Goodness, I wonder how much the controller is on its own.
That'd be interesting to find out. Just because it's like
I've broken some controllers, not on purpose, but they just happen.
Well, controllers break. I mean, the very use of them is just it's pressure being applied to them, and like they're set controller or accidentally thrown it when I was just angry at a match of Halo where he's like throw it at the wall, it breaks. Like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. It's like, well, maybe I did, but it definitely seems like it might be a little bit more of an expensive controller just because it's basically kind of like a controller and a tablet together. So I was wondering, like, okay, if it's like if the regular edition is $200, then I wonder if 50 of those dollars are going straight to the actual controller or more.
I'm gonna say at least $50 or higher.
Yeah, that'd be a safe bet.
Also, along with that, Nintendo will also be transferring over the Virtual Console and the WiiWare games over to the Wii U. No, not exactly sure what games exactly, but they will be doing that as well. If you want to play some of the older systems on the Wii U, you will be able to, like you could on the Wii, which I wasn't familiar that you could do that too. Play some Super Nintendo games on there too, and Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it's the Wii U is supposed to be backwards compatible, and you can transfer apparently your information from the Wii, the Virtual Console games, the Mii's, WiiWare, but they need to be connected to. But both consoles need to be connected to the internet at the same time, and the Wii U will need an SD card for the to transfer, and apparently it's the same transferring content from the Nintendo DS to 3DS or the 3DS to 3DS XL, and so it just needs both systems present there to transfer the information. And I think that it's a little bit complicated, but I understand the fact that like they don't want people just to be kind of transferring all their content and information over to uh, another person's Wii or Wii U, and then just getting that information from there just to illegally or pirate games or whatnot. But yeah, I can understand where they're coming from.
Crossing Wii's.
Don't cross W's. When someone says yeah,
Well, they bothered to actually allow you to transfer over your stuff over to the next console, which is not bad. Not bad at all.
it's very very a little bit more well done than some other stuff. I know it's looking at what they got going on. It's a little bit. It seems to be a little bit more useful than kind of Xbox 360 sort of endeavors. But I, that Nintendo's kind of a lot more from their mistakes in the past. For instance, they have America's for the American version of the system, they're getting the Nintendo TV, and it contains like Amazon, Hulu Plus. Like I'm pretty sure Netflix is up there too, and you can also have DVR through your gamepad, but it only seems to be going through TiVo only devices right now.
Yeah, I think that's good. If it's something that you're gonna be transferring over to a new console, it's good that you're at least able to transfer over all your stuff because I just can't imagine how much just how much storage is gonna take for Microsoft when they finally go over to the next console, whenever that may be, because you gotta like at least try to keep everything you had on the 360, like all the games on the Xbox arcade store and things like that, and transfer them over to the newer console so that people can, if they don't happen to have it stored on their Xbox 360 for the newer console, they should at least. I hope that they at least have the ability to re-download those again if once they have the same gamer tag.
Mm-hmm.
It has all the records of what they've purchased and downloaded in the past. Because with me, I can't store everything that I've purchased and downloaded over Xbox Live.
No, because there's totally not enough space.
So yeah, I think they'll probably be able to figure that out for the next consoles.
Yep. Yeah, I just hope very much so that there's a little bit better of maybe account information that you can consistently use and read. They don't have to repurchase the entire thing. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that because I'm sometimes thinking about whether I should delete something, a DLC or Xbox arcade game from my account, and I'm thinking, what if this gets taken off? What if this gets taken off the Xbox Live store, and I'm not going to be able to download it again? I always think that, but
yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like I know I can read down. I always have there's the fear it's always that fear in the back of your head, just going, what if it gets taken down from Xbox Live Arcade and it for to make space for some other type of new or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's what I sometimes think, and because they do that with servers, so I mean I'm sure that's probably won't happen.
Well,
Who
yeah.
knows? Who the hell knows?
Yep. But so the Wii U, I'm if you're willing to, I would like to talk about Charles Barkley's "Shut Up and Jam."
Just hearing that alone, I'm willing to do anything.
Yeah, excellent. I am. I gotta say, I love the art style of the game. Is the I love how it's eclectic, but somehow in the world, because like the opening screen is like a beautiful, like hand drawn, like Raiders of the Lost Ark esque type of poster. And then when you get into the game, it's like you got Charles Barkley and hoops, like looking, and then like coming in, it's like, and then his like avatar picture is just like a crudely photoshopped like head of Michael Jordan put onto like a underneath a hat and a trench coat. It's a well, first I gotta say, I like the fact that it is such a blatantly straightforward, like serious game. Like this happened. This isn't funny. This is serious because like this comedy is always the best. Comedies are always the best when they don't try to acknowledge the fact that what they're doing is humorous. And this game is certainly a serious contender for Game of the Year, right? And
Oh yeah.
so far, I went into the church and saw that special appearance by that person who was like, oh, I remember him. He was awesome. I love him. And then events occur, and then the story starts off, and then you start going underground. Then you find out more about the sort of big bad, but it's not what it seems. And then the first little bit of I was able to get was actually pretty interesting. It seems kind of something along the lines of Mario and Luigi, the Superstar Saga, where it's a mix of kind of RPG elements, but you also have live interactive stuff. Like you have Mr. Barkley there, just like shooting like free throws for line up the. It's like one of those meters that you gotta like press like the action at the right time to indicate when whether to test what power. Like there's like a meter, and then the middle is kind of a red button, and you have a little dot going up and down, like trying to indicate.
Yeah, it's like that mini game you get in basketball games when you're making a free throw. You try to when you're doing for the free throw, like the ball is going like up and down, and you have to like hold the button and release it when it gets to the middle. Yeah. And that's where he does his free throw, and if you get it precisely like in the middle, you get some pretty good damage out of it.
Oh yeah, it's interactive, and that's what I love about it. Where it's like where they could have just easily just made a turn-based kind of thing and not really done much else. They went the extra mile on this and made it really really intuitive and fun to use. And it's just one of those games where the combat I don't like too much of it, but from what I can see, the combat is varied, but it's also fun to interact and very engaging to play. And so I'm really looking forward to playing the rest of the story, and I can't wait to. The save point system is actually like a fanboy of like Japanese of a fanboy of Japanese video games and culture, where he's going like, oh, you're playing all these like that sucks compared to that Japanese. It's like you'll never enjoy it, or he's having incredible nerd rage over the fact the future of video games or video game consoles are called vidcoms, and it's all just one word. And the save point system goes into a big drive about like if you call it vid, if someone says vid space, they're a Neanderthal and they deserve to be beaten severely. It's just like that's good.
Yeah, I love reading that every time I save. It's always something different, I think, when you save. So, were you surprised as I was, like early on in the game, how there were quick time events?
The first time I saw it, like, oh, is it a satirization of quick time events? Like, it's like no matter what it's not the case. Just like, wow, it is really really good. I love the fact that the quick time events actually. They're not incredibly difficult, but they do require some good reflexes. Like there's you can either go like up, down, left, right, act, puzzle, and that's about it. But it's still, still an interesting experience.
Intense as heavy rain, I say.
It's Heavy Rain with a much better story. You don't stop in the middle of the street and just go hoops and then like a red balloon background, but still good.
Yeah. I mean, there isn't really a lot of quick time events, and that one was like the only one early on, and you don't really do a lot of them like till I don't know how further on in the game you are, but like the 3 hour mark when I was playing it, there's like one extra on, but it was like not as intense as the beginning of the game. So there's not a lot of them, like one or two that I've encountered so far, and some of them I've been pleasantly surprised. Quick time events like something there to mix it up a bit. So yeah, it's good. I haven't finished it yet, but I think I'm pretty close. It's not a very long game, but I don't know how far you've got into it. I don't think you've gone far enough to get hoops as a squad member yet.
I just have my first squad member, which is I was just playing the game, so I can't remember his name. It's like the Great Hurricane.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. He had a different name.
Yeah, anyway, it's it's an interesting story. I like the fact that it's like Blade Runner and Akira, where it's like incredible. No, like entirely like Blade Runner. I'd definitely say like Akira, where it's a terrible future. No one there is happy. It looks like kind of is almost like it's like 2 months away from ending completely, and it is just wonderful in terms of the being so bleak and dark with such a humorous and hilarious story.
Oh yeah, you got plenty more awesomeness awaiting you once you get back on that. Michael Jordan is good. You do face him a couple times.
I love the fact that Michael Jordan is like, you Space Jam, buddy. What are you doing? You're going with the bat, and it's just so much. It's so fun to look at this world and just see what they have in store in terms of just kind of funny storylines or story arcs that they get there.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome game. Awesome free to play game.
Yeah, I've also been playing a little bit of Donkey Kong Country on
Ooh.
for the Super Nintendo, and I realized, wow, as much as I love the Donkey Kong Country series, and especially this game, there are definitely moments where I'm like, okay, this is kind of outdated. Definitely standards, like the fact that they have water levels which aren't that well designed, where it's just kind of where one hit will kill you, and that's sort of fine. Where I'm actually giving me an idea for a new CH's Corner where underwater levels are terrible, just because not only are they restrictive in terms of what you can do as opposed to what you could do in on land levels, but also because of the fact that you're not working with the physics that you could that you had when that you've gotten adjusted to and that you've used for the majority of your game. Like even when you are on the minecart levels, that still works with a level of physics that you had that you had for the majority of the game. And these underwater levels are, I mean, they're the most frustrating things. Like I can't think of an underwater level that was done well, except for maybe
Duke Nukem Forever.
Duke Nukem Forever.
No, that was actually pretty bad. I don't know how many times I had to replay that part, but yeah, I do recall that level. I have fond memories of it. I have the same thoughts that you have on it. Yeah, it's not the best underwater level, but I think that the music that plays when you're under there was pretty good, and
Oh yeah, the music is phenomenal. I love it.
yeah, great soundtrack to that game, and yeah, the underwater levels are you have to play it differently, which kind of mixes up the game a bit. You have to play it differently, and they have different. It's very restrictive because it's underwater, so you can't really do the things you could on land in the game. So didn't necessarily have too much problems with the underwater ones. Maybe there are levels later on that involve more underwater stuff that gets a bit more difficult or frustrating. But I definitely, when I replayed it a while back, I didn't get far because I don't know what it is, but when I was younger, I think I got pretty farther on that game and was probably better than I am now. I don't know. I'm not very patient when it comes to older platformers because of that one hit kill.
Yeah, it definitely is a game that rewards movement and time, and also memorization in terms of where like the enemy's movements. Like, I hate the bees just because you can't do anything unless you have the Rambi the rhinoceros with you. You can't really hurt them, or the frog. I'm not sure what the frog's name is, like Frogger, the Froggy Frog, Froggerson. Yeah.
Unless you have a barrel. I think anything you can take out with a barrel.
Yeah, it's like but you're kind of up the creek if you have to face a lot of.
Yeah, those bees are annoying, especially the ones where you're having to jump from rope to rope or getting shot from different barrels.
Oh yeah.
And they're going up and down in a pattern. And you have to like time it just right to avoid getting hit.
It's.
I mean, unless you kind of have two lives because you have Diddy and Donkey Kong, and if you lose one, you still keep going on until you end up losing Diddy or find another Donkey Kong barrel where you can get Donkey Kong back.
One of the things that just really frustrates me is the fact that sometimes you'll be going through a level and then you'll have Donkey Kong falling behind you, and then Donkey Kong get hit or get hit by a bee or something like that, and then it's just like Diddy Kong, and then what you can't when you jump on one of the bigger enemies, they just kind of off as opposed to Donkey Kong who just like knock them off with one hit.
Oh
and
yeah,
that frustrates me no end. Just because like okay, I can't. Like there are sections in like the later like there's a minecart level, not a minecart level, but there's like a bunch of mine levels where you need to jump. They're big guys, big Kremlins who you're trying to get past, and like if you're Donkey Kong, you just stomp on their heads and then move on. But with Diddy Kong, it's like okay, I got to time this because there's only like an incredibly small window of there's an incredibly small window in terms of making sure that you hit the guys on the head just right.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to play the game pretty differently when you switch from character to character because Donkey Kong doesn't jump very far because he's a bigger character than Diddy Kong, where you can jump farther than Donkey Kong can. Just kind of like Mario and Luigi. How Luigi can jump longer and things like that. Definitely, you'd have to play it differently, and in case you end up losing one of them, and yeah, whether it involves jumping over a bigger enemy that Diddy Kong can't beat, you just have to jump over them and avoid them all, and progress through the game until you get Donkey Kong back. But yeah, those are definitely different elements of the game that you kind of have to go through regardless of what happens. And yeah, I do respect it for that because it does mix it up a lot and makes it incredibly frustrating at times too.
Yeah.
But those are platformers, man.
Those were the days.
Some good platformers, yeah. I should play some of those again because I have all the ROMs for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a fun game, but I definitely think like out of everything, a lot of the jumping mechanics and the music really holds up really well. I love the music, and Rare made a fantastic product with Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, that's why I like replaying them for the soundtrack. They're absolutely amazing soundtracks that hold up really well. I mean, Donkey Kong Country and Yoshi's Island are the ones I remember very much, and I played those when I was younger. I mean, those are definitely good soundtracks and make for good ringtones too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know it's going down the club when you hear na 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 na.
I do love the intro for Donkey Kong Country with the older gorilla listening to music.
Yeah, Cranky Kong's like listen to his old phonograph, and then it's like get Grandpa, your shit is old. Like this is the new hotness, and Donkey Kong comes down with his boombox blasting. It's '90s, of course. Like, it was '94, so like the boombox was the hip thing at the time.
Yeah.
So he's jamming out to a much more up tempo version of the song, and then Craig God's like, you old shit, here's a TNT barrel, and then it explodes.
Yeah, that's Donkey Kong Country.
That's the country in a nutshell. Yeah.
Love that intro. So
Rare
good
had.
stuff.
I'm sorry.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep. He was Rare had a lot of just a lot of charm to their early games, and everything that they the Super Nintendo and the N64 were brilliant. And then when they were bought up by Microsoft, it was like, bloop, 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 and they died.
Yeah, Super Nintendo's a fantastic console. I still have mine, and it still works.
Oh,
And that's a console. That's last the test of time.
Yeah, it's just one of those consoles where it's like there's so many great games on it. I don't even realize there's, you have the Donkey Kong countries, you have Super Met, you have Super Mario World, like games that I spend hours on and knowing like every little intricacy, like where I'm replaying Donkey Kong Country. I when I was a younger kid and just like little these secret environments, like and doing like you had to be like or a child of 6 to completely immerse yourself in this game. Just like look at all your options in terms of like finding every secret or Easter egg or secret power up that would help you win. Just it's definitely something that's kind of mind boggling to me. It's like how the hell did I navigate this?
Yeah, is it me or does that game get harder as you progress?
No, that game definitely gets harder, and it definitely goes. And I like the fact that for most of the levels for most of like there's like introduction, like a few levels which are easy where it introduces you to new, like for instance you'll see like the rubber top, and that's used to make you jump high. When it's introduced, it like there's no enemies around, and then like a little bit down farther there'll be like one enemy, but he's not intrusive in terms to you getting the tire, and then you'll use the tire to bounce over him, and then like it continues on there from like for you to experiment with, and just it tells information visually very very well in terms of what you need to expect. And if you've ever seen sequelitis in the video by Ego Raptor for Mega Man X and where he's comparing Mega Man X and Mega Man, it's intrinsic in terms of the learning curve for the video game, where you don't need to read a bunch of manuals or scripts to understand how to grab a barrel, how to jump. It's a lot of times it's experimental in figuring out how to navigate yourself throughout the world, and that's all you. And the game is very well done. Rare did a very good job with making sure that people kind of challenges ahead of them, and that made them think and gave them enough opportunities to understand where everything was going, and just how to use their skills that they've learned to make it better, and to get across the obstacles. So it's definitely a great game.
Oh yeah, that's how games should. That's how games should be. How they introduce the mechanics and gameplay, like Donkey Kong, without having to throw in a bunch of text at you before you even start. That's how they do it, just by having you be just placing you there and actually having you do it and figure out what it is that each thing does. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. That first area that you do, that you play, getting you introducing you to all the mechanics and enemies that you're going to be expecting from then on, and making it incorporating everything that you learn into the other levels that get increasingly hard.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it constantly changes things up, and the only gripes I are very small and not entirely. Uh, a lot of really my gripes, but yeah, it just like underwater levels are the kind of the biggest thing, and that's just because every video game had to have an underwater level at that point in time. I mean, you have great games that are still marred by bad underwater levels, like Mario 64 or
Metal Gear Solid 2.
or Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, or I mean, it got with Majora's Mask just because you could move faster in water than you could kind of on land, and that made it a lot better. Well, the mask, and that's the only time I ever really didn't really have underwater level was Metroid Zero Mission, where you just get the Various suit that allows you to move underwater as you would on land, and sometimes it can be obtrusive to kind of have a world where like either makes the camera look makes your viewpoint look a little bit like wishy-washy, just kind of distorted a little bit. In Zero Mission, where you get the suit, that's not a problem. Where it just looks like it would it looks like it happened on land, just like it just with blue background.
Right. Yeah, there's no underwater levels in Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam.
Even better. I love the fact that they don't have underwater levels. I don't know how it even work, but I'm glad that they didn't try to include it.
Just have the whole screen be blue. That's your underwater level.
that that would be awesome if it just like a video game design was like, listen, like here's an underwater level. It looks exactly the one on land. Like, yeah, but we didn't want to, with all the physics and stuff like that. So enjoy just here.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah. Now you got me interested in actually going back into replaying Donkey Kong Country.
It is such a good game, man. I mean, I still think that the best in the series is Rare's Donkey Kong Country Returns, but Donkey Kong Country is still an incredible game, and I love just all the charm it has into it. I love all your animal friends that you have, and just the enemy types, which are varied and interesting. And then you have Kong, just like, get away from me, you bad. And then it's like, yeah, you're awesomely angry at everything, or like Funky Kong, which is like he's like a surfer monkey, but I'm sorry, a surfer ape, but he somehow runs an airline.
Oh yeah.
But I love the fact
it took it to the next world. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Took it to the next level.
Yep, and so I love Donkey Kong Country, and if any of y'all have the opportunity, please play it. It's a wonderful game.
Alright, yeah, that's on my to-do list. I think I have that on my computer. I don't know. It might be weird, but I play with a 360 controller of those SNES games.
That's not weird at all. I mean, we've kind of grown adjusted to the 360, PS3, control, just and I've been trying to do Donkey Kong Country with the emulator with the arrow key, jump keys, and I mean it's fine, it's functional, but it's definitely not a controller. I think platformers are best when you have.
That's right. It's like any other games you've been playing. You get in some time for a Digital Love Story.
I have not gotten time for Digital Love Story. I've been trying to. I've been bouncing back and forth between completing some assignments for my school, and I tried to also get World of Warcraft up and running, but then I realized that To get to that, I need to register my country, and since I'm only going to be in Australia for 2 or 3 more months, I'm probably going to just withhold that and get back to the States. So
Oh yeah.
but more than anything, I'm glad that I was able to play some Charles Barkley. Shut up and jam, Gaiden.
Oh yeah, that's what happens if you don't have a 360 with you, or there's just not games that you're kind of interested in playing right now, and it's kind of been like that for me for a couple of months, playing some games on the PC and even going back to some older games. I played a couple of games since we last spoke. I played some GameCube games, some SNES games, current games right now. I'm gonna play a little bit of Dead Island, and yeah, today I was playing a little bit of the first Hitman game, Hitman Codename 47, which was up on goodoldgames.com. Got it out for a good $6. So
Same here, actually. I went to Good Old Games and purchased Planescape Torment, and I'm going to try to wineskin to try to play it on a Mac, but I tried to do that with Beneath the Steel Sky, and that kind of fell through entirely. So I'm hoping is the word, that I'll be able to figure it out. But yeah, I've been also these guys. My roommates have Super Smash Brothers and Metroid Prime, so I've been playing on and off those games, and I Super Smash Brothers, and I'm really happy about just that franchise and how well they handle it over the years. And hey, just what if you could have a big super brawler, or like something like Super Smash PlayStation All Stars? What characters would you like to include that haven't had their time, and what would their special
for PlayStation All Stars,
yeah, or just for like
for just any game that has that going for, like, just putting together all these different characters and have them go against each other.
Where you have Charles Barkley is one of these characters where it's like his special move is the chaos, where the entire screen just blows up. Yeah, like all the characters are like instantly killed, and it's just like, oh, what have I done? And then the game continues.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that. I mean, that's a given. Him and Hoops and Michael Jordan. I know you're early on in the game, but yeah, I don't think you've gotten the Holy Dunk yet. That's later on in the game. That's like the special move he does, where there's a spotlight shining on Charles Barkley, and then as he does like a slam dunk on an enemy with the spotlight following him. That's what they call the Holy Dunk.
Oh wow,
It's just fantastic.
that's incredible. I definitely need to play this game more.
I definitely would like to see. Agent 47 would be a cool character to throw in there. Francis York Morgan.
I'd like Gabe Newell to be thrown in there, and like his special attack. Like all the video game characters like get in line for Half-Life 3, and it's just like it cuts to like a cue card that's like 4 years later. Like all of them are like just skeletons, and then Gabe Newell just comes back and just like strikes them all down. I love that one.
Oh yeah, I think I get that. That's pretty good. Like just have Gabe Newell open up like a shack or something, and have the curtains and a sign that says Half-Life 3, and then everyone just goes in and then comes out. It all comes out in skeletons. It's like a time fast forwarding type of thing that they go into, and they just come out as skeletons. All these fanboys. That's a good special.
Yeah, Tiger Woods. I think that's an excellent video game multiplayer character where he's his special move is to drive a car across the screen while his wife is trying to hit it with a golf club. And the characters like that could be like the Captain Falcon brawl melee final smash thing.
My goodness, you certainly got a game going here.
Yeah, we got this.
Some Steven Seagal action.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, hell yeah. We gotta get Steven Seagal in there. Just like one of his moves could be like whipping his ponytail back, like the chick from Mortal Kombat with that really long hair. It's like that could be like Steven Seagal's move, one of his moves.
Or Seagal Vision, or
Seagal.
everything goes blue, and then whoever looks in his eyes, their heads blow up.
Oh, that would be awesome. It just oh what.
Or David Caruso, one-liner special.
Yeah, like when they just like the entire screen shakes and all the characters like thrown up into the air.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But also Echo the Dolphin. I want to see just because like if you've ever read for that game, it is one of the weirdest you've ever. It's like you think it's like you're controlling a dolphin who's going through the sea, he's trying to avoid sharks and all. It's like no, a tiny dolphin trying to save the world. Like, oh, okay, that kind of, I guess. And that power just to break physics and like it'd just be like a floating dolphin. Where it's like there's no legs, it doesn't look like it looks like he's just like hovering in midair, but there's no jet propulsion to keep him up, or like he doesn't have mechanics to help him walk on land, although that would be an interesting sight. But he's like a hovering dolphin, like using echolocation to attack his opponents. It'd be awesome.
Most definitely. You also got to add the cutesy characters like Kirby and Princess Peach and Baby Lamont from Frisco Dingo.
It would just be like his special final move would be like just him going tweet tweet, and then Kill comes in then slams the ground and then just blows up everybody on the arena.
Oh yeah, very unfortunate ending for Baby Lamont.
That is pretty sad.
Cody,
you going down, Cody?
That's one of my favorite scenes from that show is Wendell and Cody having a shootout with one of the news reportcasters, and then it just the guys just like defenseless, and him and Cody are shooting at the news van, and they're just throwing tapes at him. And one of them hits Cody, and Wendell gets all emotional because they thought they took him down and he died, and then just shoots, recreates the scene from True Romance, calling you a hearse.
I need an ambulance. I'll call you a hearse. That's for Cody. Right here. Oh, here. Well, here, hold the gun. What? Are you going down, Cody?
You loose cannon, Cody.
Oh, I really like the show, but towards the end they were just like going, I don't think we're getting another season, so just screw it. We're just having as much fun as possible.
Oh yeah. I loved it for it, Good show.
Yeah, good show. And
Cat Party.
Cat Party. Welcome to 5 months ago. Good writing from Adam Reed and the guys.
Most definitely, I'm a big fan of their previous work with Seed Lab 2021. That's a classic. They got Archer going for them. That's just going pretty well.
Every series that he makes is just progressively better in terms of animation, writing definitely. Sea Lab 2021 was funny, but it wasn't always the high. And then Frisky Dingo just had all these the Atlanta humor where they make pop culture references to things that aren't in pop culture anymore, just like what was it I think brand pants. They just have an entire series about this brand of pants that goes nowhere. And then they with Archer, the writing gets a lot more subtle and better. It's they make references. What was it? Bartleby the Scrivener. He's no Hervo Melville fan. I don't blame you. He's a pretty tough read.
Jaquil on his new album Holocaust.
You don't think this is offensive at all? I don't know. My client's just he's just expressing himself. Wait, aren't you Jewish?
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
It's so good. And yeah, so so definitely all the Adam Reed characters like put in there, just like get Xander Cruz in there, Killface, Archer.
Master Cylinder.
Where he just gets a megaphone, strips down to just like having a loincloth of a plastic over his junk. He's going, and then just like, I don't know, I guess like the Donkey Kong thing where it's like he's you try to keep the beat in line, where it's like the more you like gestate and go along with the music, the more powerful it is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think like maybe Star Fox has had his time, and all the characters in there are pretty well represented. So I should just get the R-wing from Star Fox.
Holy moly!
Just get to control the R-wing. I mean, it would be a totally broken game. I mean, it would be no fun for anybody who chooses anybody except the R-wing, just because it can like shoot giant lasers and fire bombs, and there's no way to make it even fair at all. So yeah. That would be an interesting choice.
Yes. So yeah, I played a lot of those games, some PC games with Hitman. They're the first Hitman there. I haven't actually played it before. I've only read like the Wikipedia synopsis of it and the cutscenes of it.
Right.
Damn, that game's pretty dated. I mean, it was pretty groundbreaking at the time. Just playing as an assassin in the game, I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, as the tagline for Absolution says, he was the original assassin.
Damn straight. I mean, forget Ezio and Altair. I mean, Agent 47 he's back to reclaim his throne as the original assassin here.
And I'm looking forward to what you say on the subject matter, and I'm looking forward to maybe trying to figure out how the hell Planescape Torment will work.
Yeah, I wish you the best of luck on that. The emulation stuff. See how that works.
It's it definitely looking like we got some interesting games in our future, and yeah, so looking forward to that, and finally getting a little bit more Shut Up and Jam in my life, just because it's so good. It is awesome. It's incredible. This is a freeware game.
Yeah, the gameplay is really good for the freeware games.
Mm-hmm. It's really well done, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, what have these developers done?
I have to look on their page, actually. I don't know if they've done anything recently, but let me just look up Tales of Games. I believe that's their name is. Tales of Games Studios. Studios to merge with leading companies. As we look up here, but they haven't done a whole lot. But but Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam is good on all sides there. The gameplay is good, and I normally don't go for that type of gameplay, but they do things that makes it bearable to play and fun. Yeah, with with all the different characters that you end up getting, and later on in the game, they all have their own different special abilities and little mini games you get to do before you attack, and to get the full onslaught of their attacks and their damages to the enemies. I see that they have. I don't know if this is recent, but they got the Wu-Tang Clan and the Wu-Tang Baby game going here. And as I see in the software entertainment section, the Diary of Anne Frank entertainment game. Let me see what it. Tales of Game Studios has been hard at work to bring you the software application, being the newest in a long time of popular edutainment titles. Diary of Anne Frank truly takes the genre to new heights by employing aspects that had never been seen before Developed by actual scientists in the lab, the highly sophisticated application does not only convey the Diary of Anne Frank through digital technology, but it also lets users for the first time experience the book in its truest, 100% most canonical form. This has never been done before. I love just the synopsis of this game.
They say like this has never been before. They don't use like an point like, oh no, this has never been done before. Enjoy, like this is an experience that you will never forget. The true story of Anne Frank. This is, I'm assuming this is basically just a documentary in video game form.
Yeah, from the screenshots here, it looks like a pretty. It looks like a platformer from there. I actually had to check this out, but yeah, that's. I don't know if they're doing anything recent, but it hasn't been updated since 2009. So, but for what they've done, it's a pretty astonishing thing. Really impressive. So I'm sure that they've gone on to do bigger and better things in a different light.
Yeah, maybe they'll do Fugitive Hunter 2, War on Terror Part 2. Just because I see them because they have an incredible sense of presentation from what I played of Show Up and Jam. So I'd like to see them maybe try some political satire. I mean, it seems like they're doing it maybe a little bit more with the Anne Frank platform jumper, but a little bit more of it.
Yeah, they don't take themselves too seriously. So just from reading that part or the
Soft,
description of the game,
software edutainment.
edutainment. That's right.
Oh, that's good.
I just want to. I love to see a HD remake of Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome if they had like if they got like money from Square Enix. Although they make fun of Square Enix a lot in from what I could tell, scenes where it's like Square Enix Goya is is the company that they have just that is just hilarious. But so like maybe if they I don't know the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary thing where it's like they could switch between the old and like new hotness. Like if they get financed by Microsoft Studios to make a remake, that would be awesome. But then again, you have to worry about things like getting sued from Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley and for making Space Jam references and saying that this is canonical and all that jazz. But I'm pretty sure that Microsoft has good lawyers on that.
Yeah, if it were in an alternate universe, that'd be awesome. That'd just be hilarious to see it being remade on for current gen consoles and it just being all out just have a cinematic just a cinematic presentation and just full 3D modeling of Charles Barkley and hoops and then CGI cutscene trailers of the game at E3 and just thinking about it, oh my god,
That would be
it'd be
awesome.
cool.
13 cutscene. These incredible. Even better yet, let's get them to make like these beautiful cutscenes, like the night like Old Republic pre-rendered the movies that they made to advertise the game. Like those are beautiful. Let's get those guys and the guys who do the Final Fantasy cutscenes together to make these exquisitely gorgeous cutscenes, and then the game original Shut Up and Jam, where it's where it's the same graphic, but like when it cuts back, like Mike, it actually looks like Michael Jordan. It looks like more realistic than a game of like him like in the Bulls. It's like it looks it would be fantastic. Where it's like such a brilliant distinction between the fact that this had to be included post game release.
Yeah, that's what like Diablo and World of Warcraft do. They have these full out, just amazing and beautiful, you know, cinematic CGI trailers, and the game is just far from that. Far from that, but I mean, yeah, some games have do the same thing too. But yeah, that's for that, that's really completely far off from what the game actually plays, unlike the trailer. So yeah, seeing it unfold like that for an HD re-release of Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam will be the utmost thing that should be done for that game.
It's one of those things like somebody get a car set up. I mean, I know
Trying to get a Kickstarter here.
Yeah, Obsidian got funding for their new game. I mean, why not? Why not for Shut Up and Jam Gaiden HD anniversary, or have like one of those ridiculously long titles where even more so than their own, Shut Up and Jam history. It's like Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden anniversary extended cut. Now with more cutscenes. That'll be the entirety of the name.
Hell yeah.
Hells Yesel. So, before we move on to questions, I just found one more article that I'd like to bring up. It's Obama campaign ads are coming to EA to your EA games, like Madden, the Madden series, FIFA, and Madden and NFL 13 on the console systems, casual online games on Pogo.com, EA's popular mobile games, including Battleship, Tetris, and Scrabble. The battleground states such as Ohio, Nevada, Colorado, Iowa, New Hampshire, and Virginia. Yay! We're highly contested.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's and EA says that it's accepting advertising in our games from credible political candidates similar to TV, radio, or online channels. The ads do not reflect any political policy for EA. I kind of having a problem with this, just because I understand that some games include real world advertisements and finance their games, and I understand that completely. But this seems a little too intrusive. I don't for instance, I don't go to a movie and then this is different from a TV, radio, or online channel where when I so like if I play Red Dead Redemption, I'm on Marston walking into a bar, it's like, give me a Coca-Cola, and then they slide over, Coca-Cola's like, refreshing, skins an antler,
Tasty,
or Snake crawling around on his belly, just going like, Colonel, did you know I'm voting for Obama this election? No. That's a bit too intrusive. I like for TV or radio, for instance, if you're watching like The Simpsons or something, campaign ad for Obama in the back while you're watching. The old traditional Simpsons episode when they were funny, where you don't have intrusive ads saying oh, remember to go vote, or remember to go vote for this candidate, or here's another political thing we're gonna put in your face. And I don't know. It seems a little too intrusive. Your thought?
Many thoughts.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, do them at one at a time, or just give me one of your many conflicting thoughts, and just let. I can dig it.
You can dig it.
It's been done. Yeah. But so anyway, that's just my feelings on the campaign ads. I mean, I don't mind them advertising. Maybe if they advertised on the Xbox Live Marketplace, that'll be fine. But not.
No, don't mind it a lot. But yeah, something like Xbox Live Dashboard could be something suited for that. But we already kind of get enough of that as it is. Sometimes the audio for those ads play out of nowhere. I wonder where the hell that's coming from most of the time.
You're clicking on Destructoid. It's like, oh, here's news about Bayonetta 2. America. The same old. It's like, yes, that's why I clicked on the Bayonetta 2, because I want more of the same old newness that we have here. It's like that. Well, because the sun of America is coming.
Yeah, I mean, anyways, I get the purpose of advertisements. I know, it's one of those things that's we got to deal with, and it is what it is. But I can't think of any type of advertisement that's got me to actually check out whatever advertisement it is.
Old Spice.
I do have Old Spice products, but I've never been, I never had the feeling to run out the door to get it when I see a commercial of it. It's just there.
Excellent point. I agree with you. So that I
So
don't know.
thanks for bringing that up. That was actually pretty good.
It's yeah, I forgot I had that up there, so just wanted to. Yep.
So yeah, let's get to the questions this week. I know we had a little drought the last episode here, but the better to save some time here and to get to them right away. Better than ever. I don't know what I said. Anyways, episode 112 questions commence, and we begin here with the Ultimate Snyder Man. His question is, who do you think is the coolest video game character? What was his or her most badass moment? For me, it would have to be Dante from the Devil May Cry series. His most badass moment is hands down in the opening of Devil May Cry 3. Long live Bloody Thumbs. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, off the top of my head, I know there's a lot of, there's cool video game characters. Just saying cool is very kind of generic. It can go either way. I mean, everyone can have different, opinions on what is cool and things like that. But when I say cool, I mean cool. I mean, he's the definition of cool. Duke Nukem 3D. When I first saw Duke Nukem, I thought he was cool ass mother. Shut your mouth. That's right. I thought Duke Nukem Forever was cool. I mean, with Duke Nukem Forever kind of hindered that a little bit. It made him come off as how your uncle tries to tell you dirty jokes and you kind of feel uncomfortable when he tells it to you. I kind of got that feeling with Duke Nukem Forever, but I hope for nothing but the best for Duke Nukem in the future, and I hope Gearbox does something with it in the future with the character and franchise, because Forever was something that it probably was better left not coming out. That's all I could say, but on that issue, but it was what it was. It didn't get me like the original Duke Nukem 3D did. I mean, but also that was the time, so you didn't really have a kind of character like that it was the personification of cool and kind of the action star vibe in a game as Duke Nukem had the first time around. And yeah, I guess I don't know how they could do it now. The only reason it worked was because of the time, I think. The 90s.
Well, I mean, Duke Nukem can still be awesome. He can still he can still show up these kids, these younglings, a thing or two, and he's a pretty cool character in terms of just being badass, saying one-liners and shooting pig aliens in the face.
You know what? Yeah, it probably could work. I don't have the mind to do it. I mean, they did it with Expendables 2 with all the cool action stars and their one-liners. I think Duke Nukem, there's still enough tank left in the gas. Wait, gas left in the tank. I don't know how I mixed that up for Duke.
There's still plenty of GameSpot in the GameStop. I mean,
exactly. Exactly. That and a Scorpion. I thought that was a pretty cool character. I mean, just from his badass moment of yelling, "Get over here!" That's pretty badass.
It's cool character. I mean, there are definitely a lot of cool characters in video games, just like being badass. It's just because it's populated with them. I love Master Chief. He's an awesome, cool character. He doesn't say much, but I just love the fact that he blows up an entire Covenant ship in Halo 2 just by going past it with a bomb and diving through it, landing on a human vessel to be taken back to Earth for the fight. It's like, okay, you've proven you're a badass for the rest of the game. Just you could just sit back, get a lemonade on the lawn and just watch everybody work their butts off for the rest of the game. It's like you've earned a rest. But I think the coolest character for me would probably have to be Eddie Riggs, just in terms of personality as well as just cool feats where he's such from the game Brutal Legend, and he's such an interesting character. I love the fact that Jack Black voices him, and just he adds this sense of confidence and just energy, and just makes him seem like he really enjoys life, and that kind of thing is really really cool. And he's just so he has a perfect thing. He has a perfect joke for the situation, or he always smooth talks the ladies, and he knows what to say to motivate people to get into battle. And I just love the fact that he's this sort of badass, and I think his best line was just or his most badass moment was when he was just the introductory levels of Brutal Legend, where he's fighting against a giant worm, and he's so calm and confident about it, just like, hey, oh, I'm sorry, did you know those guys that I just killed back there? Well, I'm gonna kill you too. And then, of course, the famous line of "Did as he gets a gate slammed over the worm's head. So yeah,
Sonic's cool. Come on, man.
yeah,
Cool.
chili dogs.
Radical.
Yeah. He is such a product of the '90s. It's not even. It's the sneakers and the socks and the radical attitude. It's like, okay, you know what? You're trying too hard. Say, I like the original Sonic, where they didn't even try to make him a badass. It's like, oh, it's just a dog who likes to run through areas.
Simplify it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nowadays it just seems like the more Sonic talks, the more he loses his charm. Where it's like, he doesn't he kind of sometimes, but he lets his act, Mark, or he's a cool character just because he's always he's he's excited about life. He's exuberant, like that's awesome. He doesn't have any fear a lot of times, and no matter what, he'll always rescue the princess, even after it's been like 50 different times, like saving her. It's like, listen, this guy is dedicated to his relationship. He's going to save this woman over and over again, even though she's poison for him. That's how he loves her.
Like Popeye and olive oil.
Yep, and Bluto in the background.
Mm-hmm. Manny Calavera is pretty cool.
From A Grim Fandango?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy, you know it. It's Manny is one of the Grim Fandango I really like, just because he's a classic character where we walk between being accepted yet not exactly fitting in with any group, and he's freaking Grim Reaper. How can you not like that?
Yeah, and a private eye, right?
And a private investigator as well. With class. Oh, these people are smoking and yet they're skeletons, and that doesn't really make sense, but who cares? It's awesome.
How you break it down like that? Yeah, that does not make sense. Well, what the hell? You got no lungs.
Yeah, what's is his lungs gonna go bad? He doesn't have them. Leave him alone.
Mm-hmm. So that's our coolest characters, coolest video game characters that we have right there. So thank you, Ultimate Snyder Man. And moving on here, it's just Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
And he says, recently I lost all my save data from 3 playthroughs of the 3 episodes of The Walking Dead game out so far, which means playing everything over again. So my question is, are there any times when you forgot to save after a long time playing and there was not an autosave or lost an entire save to a game? I don't think I've lost an entire save to a game. I think I've lost progress for like a good half hour. I think that happened to me when I was playing The Witcher 2. I popped it in one day and I was kind of playing through it and kind of getting into some of the side quests, and I guess it didn't autosave, and I just ended up losing a good 30 minutes of progress there. So that was not fun.
Yeah, that The Witcher is definitely that kind of had some problems with, just because I was not connected to my through the online portion of Xbox Live, and because of that, the clock kept resetting, and so whenever I would auto save or auto save The Witcher 2 to some new points, it would always auto save to earlier points, and it would just mess up the system just because I would be saving before my saves, so I would have to switch discs to figure out which save I had. Long story short, yeah, that was a problem for me. But I have completely I've done that for several games of completely getting rid of all my memory. Where it was Fallout 3. I remember erasing my entire structure for the game. It's like, oh crap! Now I got to start all the way over from the beginning again. Well, looks like I'm not playing this game for a while, and I accidentally did the same thing with Skyrim. I got pretty far into it. Then I saved. I was trying to transfer over content from one memory card to the console that I was trying to use, and then it just I deleted the Skyrim data. I was like, ooh, this was not good. That was a bad choice. And so all that gone. And then the only one that I was kind of close to as well as doing that was Mass Effect 2. I deleted my entire career. I was like, oh, I really don't want to go back to the beginning to do this, because this was like a week before Mass Effect 3 came out, and I thought that I deleted my entire saves and everything in my entire career. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to. As much as I love that game, I don't have time for this. I really want to just get it done and just play Mass Effect 3. And then, fortunately, I found out that I did actually save. I have one save left, so that saved my entire career. And yeah, that saved my butt. Yep.
Oh yeah, with Mass Effect, I save a lot in that game. I have multiple saves from different parts of the game. I save before a big choice, or I save after I made a choice, and yeah, sometimes I mix them up too. So I necessarily didn't have much issues with losing the memory saves like that. I mean, it's never gotten corrupted or anything. I think the only reason you can get it corrupted if you just turn it off during the save there, and that's something you don't want to do unless it's that's something that's out of your reach that you can't control. Like the power goes out when the game's saving, and that's not good.
Yeah,
the save gets all corrupt, and that sucks. Yeah, with Skyrim or games like that, oof, I can't imagine trying to get back to where I was, because it's a big game, and it's a lot of things they throw at you at random times with random quests that people come to you and give you and things like that. I mean, I don't think you can even really try to kind of. If I were to try to do it again, I probably had to play it differently than I did before to see the kind of outcome of it. But even then, it's not very different sometimes. Playing it differently.
Yeah.
Like a quote unquote bad way, than you did before. Like being the paragon of games and going some of the kind of renegade or bad options, and you try to replay those games are not very different than what you did before sometimes.
I definitely understand. I understand that, and especially when you come up to those like really really hard decisions, like okay, like this is gonna be like one. I remember going to Vermeer for the first time, and it's like, okay, so we have all these different. We have this like big thing going on. Like, okay, who's gonna go where? It's like it's Gaiden and Ashley. It's like, who do I want to go with? Which squad? Will that affect? And then definitely on that one, just because I had no idea what would happen afterwards, and I was pleasantly surprised at just how it was. Definitely, I was definitely glad that I saved and was able to replay it and see what else I could have had and missed.
Yeah, it's very cool how, at least in Mass Effect 8, there are at least sort of different outcomes on certain choices that when you go back to play again, especially with the first one, it's cool. It's interesting to actually see, because I think there's like alternate scenes to that mission on Vermeer, rather than facing Saren right where the bomb is, and then you have that scene, and then the other one up on the roof when you take the elevator.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Absolutely. I mean, and they both, and like they're kind of changes, but they're still very cool that they accounted for both of the players' choices instead of just kind of having one kind of similar cutscene or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. If it were to happen, if I were to lose a save now for one of these games I'm playing, I don't think I'll be able to go back and replay it again. It's a tough choice to make if you're going to replay a good section of a game to get back to where you were before because of just a damn corrupt save or just ended up losing it for some reason. But fortunately, I've not had that issue.
I'm really glad that they also the audio thing has become a lot more prevalent in video games, where it's like like a Fallout 3 for instance would have traditionally like you would have to kind of save for yourself, but now the game for you, like whenever you open up go into a new location or something like that, and account a lot of situational stuff as well, just to make sure that everything is saved and that you can always go back if you don't like your choices, and if you forget to save as well. So yeah, that's always nice. I like that.
Most definitely. Let's move on here. Thanks Ryan for the question. We got the last question here for this episode from Pancho Cheesecake.
Hey Pancho.
This question is, what is the most memorable zombie kill you have ever done? Yeah, I'm trying to come up with one. I mean, I haven't played a lot of zombie games, but the ones that I have played have had certainly very cool and interesting ways of killing zombies. I mean, from Dead Rising 2 and recently with Dead Island and
Undead Nightmare from the Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah, I did play that.
Yeah, and Left 4 Dead and just Call of Duty Black. Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops where you get to. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Black Ops where you get to play as Nixon, Kennedy. Was it Castro and Mac? I think where just like you get to play like 4 different like huge historical characters who are all rallying together to fight off zombies.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty awesome.
Memorable kills. I guess plugging in the guitar in Dead Rising 2 and blowing up zombies' heads when you plug it into the amp.
Yeah. I mean, Dead Rising. The Dead Rising series is probably up there, definitely, where you have like I just remember one of the kills that I had. I was trying to get one of the camera system points for the PP points. I think it's called PP. But it was one where like I had a shower head with me and just like ran up to a zombie, stuck it in his head, and like it just started pouring blood. Stepped back to take his picture, and then as I took his picture, I realized I'm only wearing army boots, box parts on it, and the Mega Man head, one of those the Trons, one of the Tron heads on it. Okay, if the 6-year-old if the 6-year-old me can only see this now, he would just wait, with just like awesome, that's cool, that's so funny. Hello.
Hey, we're back. We're back again. The spirit of my goddamn Belkin router. It still haunts this house. I sold it. It got rid of it, and it's still haunting it. No, I think it was
back in.
Yeah, I like to say it was, but I think it was the Skype recorder for some reason. But anyways, damn it, Belkin.
Damn it, Bill.
But yeah, I mean, the most memorable kills that I can recall, I mean, there's so many. If you played some zombie games, there's a lot of. With Dead Rising 2, there are plenty of unique ways to kill zombies in that game. Although I'm not a huge fan of the way the game is structured in the gameplay. I mean, I understand why the reason how it is structured, but I wasn't a huge fan of it because I found it incredibly frustrating at times with the boss battles and boss fights. I mean, but
I got you.
But it had good zombie kills. One of my memorable ones was like you mentioned, Undead Nightmare was tying a lasso and dragging zombies from your horse. Those are fun.
And I mean, if people who play Left 4 Dead, I mean, it's always fun to kind of go into a co-op experience and have like a lot of scares, like chargers coming at you and like slamming you on the ground. And one time, so one of my friends just had a zombie charging right at him, and he shot it in midair, and it died, and the corpse just came like flying at him, and so he just kind of sidestepped out of the way, and it fell off the building. So it's like that was probably the most memorable kill for him, anyway. So yeah, it's always a fun time when you have zombies, just because they're easy cannon fodder, and you can have a lot of fun with them.
Oh yeah, most definitely. When you can use the environment against the zombies, like sometimes the zombies will. I don't know if a lot of games will do it, but if you go up on a roof and up through a ladder, sometimes zombies will either, climb the ladder too, or just stay down there, and you just like throw whatever, like some gas, and shoot the gas tank when they're down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's good. I had some moments like that in Dead Rising, not Dead Rising, Dead Island.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a very interesting. Also, like for the best zombie kill, I can think of also trying to get the genocide achievement in the first Dead Rising, where it's just like going back and forth in the underground parking lot in cars, just killing as many zombies as possible and getting the achievement just so that I could get the Mega Buster to help me out. And so yeah, that's probably not exactly a memorable kill per se. So, but yeah, there are a lot of fun ways to just horrifically desecrate zombies. You can't feel sorry for them. They're zombies. They're like Nazis. They'll just come right at you, which makes even Nazi zombies even better.
Most definitely.
Yep. So, thank you very much for that. For that question there, Mr. Poncho Cheesecake. Your name sounds absolutely delicious. I visit your factories very often, and so yeah.
Yeah, so that concludes the podcast here. We've answered some questions, delved into some news early on, and got your impressions on Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam, which I'm very happy that you're checking out and enjoying it, and talked about some games we've been playing, and all the goodness there. It's plenty.
Oh yeah,
plenty of stuff covered on today's episode here, episode 112, ladies and gentlemen.
Like ScarJo's anniversary.
Oh yeah, that was very early on.
This is an episode to remember.
Oh yeah, I hope that people took the moment of silence there and bowed their heads as we did, and not fast forward to the actual programming.
I mean, you don't appreciate the programming until you have that moment of appreciating the leaked pics. You just can't.
Yeah, you just gotta be proactive and do it. Come on. I know I don't ask a lot from the listeners, but this is something that must be done.
Yep. It's you got to take the time to respect that immensity of something of this momentous occasion. And if you don't do it, then you're frankly a communist, and you should be locked up and have your labor unions stripped away and dealt with.
I agree. So, be sure to check us out on iTunes. The usual stuff we usually plug near the end of the show on Twitter. I'm at Swinner47 there, and CH is under CH_Gorog on Twitter. And good old YouTube, under the I'm under that the same thing there, and you under Liberator 130 there. Once once you get a good CH's Corner up and running, that people will know once they subscribe to the channel that is CH Gork's channel.
Well, thank you very much. I actually been talking today about the underwater levels. I want to continue that into a video, and I shall release it this week.
I can't wait, and I'm sure that everyone out there can't wait for that newer edition of CH's Corner. The replacement, or maybe the original inspiration of Cessler's Soapbox.
No, I actually want to tell you that I time traveled back to the early 2000s and then gave Sessler the idea for the Sessler Soapbox.
What a guy!
Inspired by my videos, and he said, "Oh, that's a great idea." And I will take it and use it for the benefit of all of mankind. Then I said, "Oh, he doesn't know what future he's going into." I wanted to give him a little bit of happiness, just because I knew how G4 would treat him, and him leaving the station on bad terms. And I'm very, very happy that I was able to help.
Oh, what a guy! What a guy!
But yes, I'm just that kind of guy. I love the
man. Saint on earth.
Yeah. Thank you. I do what I can. I do what I can.
As you mentioned before, you're a benevolent dictator, aren't you?
A benevolent dictator without the pretense of choice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know it.
So yes, I didn't mention, but if anyone had noticed, I did post our last episode on YouTube. It was definitely a process. I got to say, a good hour and a half to render, because it was a pretty long podcast, and it didn't take as much to upload it as it did to render. But I will see what I could do. I probably will be posting this episode as well on YouTube and see how that goes. And yeah, another avenue there to check us out. I know I when I wake up in the morning, I check out some YouTube videos, from the people I subscribe to, and get along with my day. So I hope that that will be the same for others as well.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, and I really commend you for making the for making that for uploading the entire video. And I actually wanted to ask you what you think the name of the new channel that we're working on.
The name, that is a good question. The name will make or break a YouTube channel. Should it be too short? Should it be too long? That's the tough one right there. Question. The $1 million question. And with women, they don't tell you the truth. When in actuality, they like it long.
Exactly. And you can't say something in one language and then it could be offensive in another.
Yeah. A mouthful of truth there, my friend.
Yes, indeed. Oh yeah. I'm not sure what to call the name of the YouTube channel yet, but I will let you all know as soon as we have come to a conclusion. It's
a work in progress. Getting going back and forth on that, and I just as in the meantime, while we figure it out, I'm just posting the stuff on my channel there just to see what happens there, because I do have the upload anything over 15 minutes thing, and that's very nice to have. I don't know how I got it, because I barely post anything, but out of the most views I got, which is a couple actually. I did do a while back. I did do like my 360 games collection, and that video is doing pretty decently. It's got like over, last I checked, 800 views around there.
Yeah, it's.
So, I don't mean to brag, but that's probably one of the reasons why they gave me the freedom there to upload more than 15-minute videos, which is cool, because when I was doing the live stream stuff, I was very glad to be able to upload the entire stream that I did on the the Twitch.tv up on the good old YouTube channel for some increased exposure. And I think I got retweeted by the creator of Don't Take It Personally, Babe, just in your story.
Oh, excellent.
So that was nice.
That is awesome. Did he say like, "Hey, look at this guy. He completely owns this game," or is he kind of like, "Wow, look how badly this guy. I can't believe it.
I don't want to say
I
it.
let
Let's
my
go.
product in his hands."
Yeah. something like that. So that's about it. So thank you for everybody for listening. As always, thanks for the support, and always when you get the chance, leave us a question for the next episode, and definitely some comments for our current ones, and definitely get the ball rolling on the discussion in the group page. We certainly like the activity that goes on there, and we try to the comment on everything that goes up on there, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Good old times on the group page there, and we'll see you on the future of Dead Island video clips with me and Dr. J.
Yeah, I've been actually seeing some of the uploads on now. Is his name the Spazcast?
The channel is Video Games Spaz.
Ah, gotcha. I got that mixed up. I saw his Resident Evil 5 video. And
Hey, I think that was recent. Yeah.
Episode 12. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot how dumb Sheva was in this game. Just like the AI that controls her is like, oh, let me get in the way of your gunfire.
It's good videos, and it's just hilarious just watching him just get pissed off because I haven't played Resident Evil 5, but I don't want to because Sheva seems like it's a very very useless AI co-op partner.
Yeah, the game is it's one. Resident Evil 5 is one of the games like, okay, they sidestep. They got a lot of flack early on for saying like, oh, this is like a big slap in the face towards the black community because you're shooting African zombies and there's supposed to be some sort of colonialism, white supremacy message embedded in there. I didn't see it, but whatever. And so they said like, oh no, we're not doing any of that at all. And so I guess they gave you a black sidekick, co-partner in the program, as well as giving you a lot of black allies along the way. And then they have like this scene where they have like you face off against tribal leaders and masks just going ooga booga booga with like shaking spears. Like, okay, you sidestepped the crack but landed straight on the landmine, man. Like, why did you do that? Like, you could have just not had that in the game at all, and it would have been awesome. But no, you had to go tribal. You never go full tribal.
That's correct. That's the message we all should learn. Never go full tribal.
Yeah. So that being the case, I would not really recommend Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 4, highly recommend Resident Evil. Resident Evil 6 is coming out soon.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and he's been doing some Let's Plays of the past Resident Evil games in preparation for that. I, on the other hand, will be inspired by that. I probably will be doing something with previous Hitman games before the actual release of the Hitman Absolution, which I did pre-order today. And once I get everything figured out with I don't know if I want to do fraps or do some sort of stream, because the newer version of XSplit is limited in some ways now that they want you to purchase it, which I understand it's a good product, but I'm considering
Those
purchasing
cheap
it.
bastards.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, that's what I've got planned there. But anyways, audibletrial.com/Bloody Thumbs. Free audiobook, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. Please.
It costs you nothing, and it helps us all. It helps us in the end. I mean, I definitely will be using the money for the podcast, and I haven't announced it yet, but it's something in the works. We'll be doing some sort of contest once we reach 130, and we'll be giving out some swag for that special occasion. So be prepared and hold on to your butts.
Damn straight. I can't wait for it to come about, and I'm down for just also participating in any way towards the contest where it does not involve me making an absolutely ridiculously convoluted way of being a part of it, where it's like, you got to dig through our past, find out what shirt I was wearing that day, go to your local Subway, scratch off a card, and then once you're done with that, you must go to the National Gallery of Art and steal the Declaration of Independence. I don't know if the Declaration of Independence is in the Gallery of Art, but I assume it is.
Yeah, we'll tie the contest just like the National Treasure. Steal the Declaration of Independence.
It's the Nicolas Cage hang on to your butts contest, where the two images that will propagate throughout this entire contest will be Samuel Jackson and Nicolas Cage.
Buddy cop movie. Now you got some ideas going here.
Yeah,
Hollywood,
awesome.
listen to us, damn it. Buddy cop film with Sam Jackson and Nicolas Cage, directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, that even better, love it.
So yeah. Yep, this has been, as I mentioned before, episode 112, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. I am Spinner47 signing off.
And I am CH Gorog. Goodbye.
Have a good week.
Bye.